Well, hello people of the internet. Welcome to Constant Science. I am Don from Explosions Incorporated. So I thought today I'd give a brief, very basic overview of chemistry, because so far we've talked a lot about math and astronomy and even medicine and a couple of these things, but we haven't really touched on chemistry, which is odd because, well, Aaron and I love chemistry because chemistry is what allows you to mix things together and create explosions, which you may recognize as actually the name of the thing that we do. So what the hell is chemistry anyway? Well, very simple. Chemistry is the study of chemicals. So what the hell are chemicals anyway? Well, that's very simple too. This is the periodic table of the elements, 90 odd of which occur naturally in the universe at various different rates, hydrogen being the most abundant, and then things like francium being really non-abundant. The periodic table of the elements is organized into columns and rows. The columns and rows are organized that way because the columns and rows share certain characteristics with each other. They're also broken down into groups like the noble gases, or the actinide series, or the metals, or the transition metals, and all sorts of things like that. The other 30 or so of these elements above that 90 or so that occur in nature are man-made. We have basically taken smaller elements and just bombarded them with subatomic particles in the lab until something sticks, and we go, hey, this one has 116 protons, it's a new one. Really, they don't have a lot of use, they're more experimental at this point, but it is kind of cool that we can build new elements. That's kind of neat. These elements, specifically the 90 odd elements which are naturally occurring, make up every single bit of matter in the universe. Let that sink in. Now, of course, there is antimatter and there's dark matter. We're not quite sure what that's made of, but regular old standard matter, people, places, and things, and the air around them, and the water they swim in when they go swimming, made of combinations of these 90 odd elements. So every single one of these elements is a chemical. Any combination of these elements is a chemical. So basically, chemicals are everything. That's the long and the short of it. If there is a person, that person is made of combinations of chemicals. An animal is made of combinations of chemicals, and plants and flowers and bacteria, and literally every piece of matter in the universe is made of chemicals. And why am I flogging this so hard? It's very simple. It's because chemicals get a bad rap, it seems like, in pop culture. People say, oh, I don't want that food. That food has chemicals in it. Oh, really? Gosh, I didn't know that. Oh, did you know that there are chemicals in the water? Duh. I mean, water is a chemical. So basically, what people seem to mean when they go, oh, there are chemicals in that, you shouldn't eat that, it's full of chemicals, is that there are chemicals of which they disapprove. But here's a list of all the chemicals that go into a banana. When you actually break it down and don't just look at it as some sort of whole food, it's just as scary as all the stuff that goes into those artificial, chemical-laden fake foods or whatever. Take a look at that. That's nasty looking. You don't want to eat a banana. There are chemicals in that banana. Now, that's not to say the world isn't filled with dangerous chemicals, but some of those chemicals do occur naturally. Arsenic is right there on the periodic table of elements, for example. If you want to eat the flour that comes from a potato, you're going to die, because that flour in many species of potato is related to nightshade, a deadly poison, which is a bad chemical. So there are good chemicals and there are bad chemicals, but combining different elements from the periodic table of elements will always net you one chemical or another, whether it's water, H2O, dihydrogen monoxide, or table salt, sodium and chloride, which is a hell of a combination, because table salt is edible and delicious, and I guess bad if you eat too much of it, but like anything else, that's, true. It's a combination of two really nasty chemicals. Sodium, which is a metal which combusts and explodes when it contacts water, and chlorine, which is a dangerous, deadly poison gas. Combine the two of them and you get salt. Perfectly inert, regular old, delicious tasting salt. That's one of the kind of neat things about chemistry, is that you can take chemicals with really ridiculous characteristics, like explosivity in water, or phosphorus, which combusts in air, has to be stored in water, and combine them with other chemicals in certain ways and you get something that's completely unlike the thing that you started with. When you do that, it's called a chemical change. It's not the same as a physical change, because a physical change, the chemicals involved stay the same. If you tear a piece of paper in half, it's still paper. If you burn a piece of paper, however, you're getting carbon dioxide, water, and a whole bunch of waste material from the stuff that doesn't quite combust fully. That is a chemical change. So just remember, whenever somebody talks about chemicals, they probably don't know what they're talking about, because yes, there are plenty of dangerous chemicals in the world. Like, don't eat bleach, that's probably really bad for you. But everything out there is chemicals. So don't believe the negative hype. Chemicals come in all shades of good, bad, and neutral, and it's kind of hard to make a case for hating the very thing that makes up all of the matter in the universe. Just remember, chemicals are not inherently bad. Chemicals are everything. So, as always, suggestions for comments, for topics, leave them in the comments down here under the video. It'd be nice if somebody did that. We ask that all the time, and only a couple of people ever have. It'd be really nice if you did. It would validate our existences. But anyway, tune in later this week. Aaron will have something cool, I am sure. Thanks for watching Constant Science. I am Don from Explosions Incorporated. See you later.